Okay, so let's begin. So the good news is this: the rollout program yesterday was very successful, and although we didn't actually record the meeting, which would have been really nice if we could have, I think it was a really good start. So congratulations to everybody who was involved. Um, the distribution, I think, right now of the video is something I'd like to talk about, but before we go into that, let's go ahead and take a look at the Scrum. So let's take a look and see. Actually, I'm not sure what happened with Andre. Is Andre coming in today?
He's off, sir.
Oh, he's off. Is Rion off too?
Rian, let's check the calendar.
Okay. So we're using, I guess, we're using the calendar to spot and see if that work schedule. It is a little bit harder to sort of understand everyone's schedules, and I think it might be a good practice to announce if you're off tomorrow to the group, so that way people sort of just understand that.
Yeah, I
As
think on the Scrum we can do that on the Scrum, sir. If there is someone day off,
mhm.
maybe before the chairman, choose the chairman, we can announcement.
Okay. It actually looks like Rian just didn't show up today, so he on his schedule it shows that he should be here, so he's absent. Okay, let me deal with that in my own way later. Then, all right. So this is the part I think that we need to follow up on because once again the cycle is still pretty hot. So yesterday I think we left off with the idea that we would start distributing some of this material out. But however, based on the number of views that I've seen on YouTube, it doesn't look like everybody who went to the meeting actually watched the video. Oh, what? Sorry. That was weird. Okay. So I think we need to take direct action here, Tendi. So currently for distribution, I believe it's Nadine and Ryan, right? Who are distributing and getting okay, and both have been sort of AWOL. Okay, so we might need to maybe tighten that control up a little bit. Okay, here's essentially where I'd like to go with this, Tendi. Um, how would you like to design your next pivot? So you have a pivot right now here for standard operational procedure for cleaning for COVID-19. What would you like your next pivot to be?
Actually, the simulation it's done. I had spread out some video as well yesterday, and then the new member is Padang View with Vilawiska and Labomi. Also, is already registered and understand. It's already in the evidence paper as well. And then the next, I would like to have a video meeting with Double A, Pondok Juli, and then Mivila. And then I will explain because Mivila is still open, so I will explain about the CSC as well.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's make sure we coordinate the process. Will you also be using the CSE framework with checklist and and video and that too, or you be using a different framework?
I think I will use the same. Actually, for my initiative is mostly to like introduce them the system first on the bigger
Okay.
because in the future that will be reduce the noise on the WhatsApp as well.
Ah,
We
yes.
start talking about the gas, why there is no one informed about the honeymoon setup and everything. So yeah, they can like self-service using the bigger about the gas details and then maybe for add one more the room status, just the room status. Maybe for the cleanliness we can use the what's called the checklist on the from the CSC
Okay.
cleanliness.
Here's where I think there's actually an opportunity to merge some of our efforts together, Tim. So on what we have with the current CSC, there's nothing to do with bigger, actually, and that's a weak point. I think we can find a way to reinforce that. So is there a way you think? So you've used I think a video right now to demonstrate that. Do you think there's a way we can edit that video to be shorter, to be like maybe 3 to 5 minutes?
Yes, I can make that more certain by maybe just the point. bias point. But I worry if I make that shorten, that will be still like a question, sir. Like a not.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
because for currently all the feedback from the staff, the video is very complete and then clear, and then the stuff like easy to
Oh,
understand.
okay,
Yeah,
and no
so
change. Okay, good, good, good.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I put on the evidence paper as well for the feedback from the staff, but the video is like clear everything. So that's why I think that's already like for general is easy to understand for the staff.
Okay,
Because yeah, the stuff is really different things with the owner. Owner is more easier maybe for, but the stuff more have more like slowly on details.
I see.
So yeah, reduce the back feedback.
Okay, good. And I remember you sent a few test cases out there. What were the results of those tests?
For the test, the result is actually it's great. Some stuff is already know how to check it the internal notes, because the internal notes menu is the most difficult to find. But they understand. Then when I make the simulation like this guy's request for special honeymoon and everything, they can reply it on the internal notes
Okay,
like okay, like they know how to reply it on there, and then so that will be also reduce the communication on WhatsApp as well.
sounds
Uh,
good.
yeah, so everything is recording on the one channel, so
Yeah,
everyone can even the owner can the chat on the internal notes.
okay,
So
that's
so
great.
like a personal message that anymore, right?
Excellent, excellent. Okay, that's fantastic. Anything that does that allows for transparency and reduction of this communication chatter, I think will make things much better.
Yeah.
Okay, great. That sounds pretty good. All right, what I'd like to do is this then. Do you want to do the next rollout together, or do you want to kind of like go on your own speed?
Yeah, for the next rollout, of course, I need some of the community and are involved,
Okay,
like for Nusa Penida, and then for the Bukit area,
okay,
and then yeah, everyone. So before I do that, I would like to gather all of
okay,
that and explain this system first.
okay,
What is the why I make this initiative and everything.
okay,
So when they roll out to the other properties, they know how to explain it
okay.
everything.
Sounds good then. Here, let's try this. Right now, I think HAR desperately needs a project. Hey, guys. Stand up. She knows how to do that? Okay. So I think for the next rollout, jeez, I just lost my thought. Oh, yeah, the chapter I think desperately needs a project. I think I see a few people. They're sort of lost, and pretty senior too. Like Chandra is a senior person. She feels, like she's not earning her pay, so to speak, right? And I think Cynthia and also Rafik are feeling this too as well. So I think the sooner we can get everybody some meaningful work, the more mental health that they'll start feeling, and the sooner we can recover. I'm going to need to rely, Tendi, a little bit more on you to sort of lead. You have the closer relationship with people in this particular chapter, I think, and also, your Bahasa Indonesia is much better than mine. So in that aspect, I think this is why I thought it might be a good idea for people to see you more often in sort of a leadership position, to get used to that aspect. So that part I think I'd like to reinforce. Okay, so that's on the next step. All right. So the current friction, I believe, is we don't have a lot of traction right now with the people who are supposed to be delivering the follow up now on this, and it's because Rian and Nadine. Okay, so we'll need to talk to them. Would you like to talk to Rian and Nadine about that to get them to sort of follow up? Make sure that they've distributed the video and the checklist to all the what do you call it, the property site
MVP.
teams. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So that way, like, it's not coming from me all the time. It's also coming from somebody who's chapter lead. Okay. Let's. I'd like to delegate that to you then, Tendi.
Yeah.
That,
So I will speak with the Nadine and Rian.
yeah, just make sure that they're following up so that we don't lose the momentum that we've currently have earned through. Oh, whoa, weird. Okay, Kitty Kitty's Get your keyboard right there. Um, Good. Okay. That is that. Otherwise, let's see. Otherwise, I think we're almost all good on community.
Yeah.
The other suggestion I have is it very busy in HAR right now or not very?
In HJR, mostly for the dealing long-term gas, and then the own project, like the
Okay.
own initiative.
And I understand some people's projects are not really moving ahead. I think Cynthia is getting a lot of friction on trying to reach out to guests, and but you're not actually. You're able to reach guests. What do you think is the difference right now between your
Uh,
approach and Cynthia's approach?
yeah, I have asked Cynthia for if there is any friction. Yeah, you can just contact me on, yeah, like help. But so far, she said no friction. So I think there. So I think,
There's no
yeah,
results either, right?
yeah. So maybe for the reach out the guest is, mm, I don't know. Sometimes the guest is very quick to respond. And but mostly the guest that I contact is response. So
Okay. That's
yeah,
what I believe too, Tendi. I believe there's maybe something fundamentally not correct about Cynthia's approach, or maybe it's some sort of mental state right now too, like afraid to reach out. So in that particular dimension, it might be actually good to really just pair with the person, like you guys do a process together in that line, so that Cynthia actually can see what's happening. Uh, Shindia is, if I understand correctly, does really well when the work is structured. So she comes like as a valedictorian from a school. So when there's homework, when there's projects, when there's everything, and the work is very well structured, I think she does excellent work. But it's really more challenging, I think, in Cynthia's case, when the work is unstructured, right? When it's more like you got to go find the work yourself.
yeah,
So, what I noticed, if I may share, Sandy, is like, let's say for Aldo's case, right? Aldo is really skilled right now at professional networking. He's bringing in like these big names, creative directors, chief marketing officers, all these pretty high level people. And it's mostly we sort of worked on it together at each level. We worked on it together, like at creating the messaging. We worked at it together in selecting the audience. So there was pretty close contact there. I don't know if Shinthia needs that. Maybe that's a little bit too micromanaging, but for some reason, um, there's no momentum yet, right? And I would expect much more momentum in connecting with previous guests than
yeah,
with complete strangers. So there's a little bit of a expectation gap there. Anyhow, try to see if you can fill that in using whatever tactic that you'd like to use. I'm just explaining essentially what the mission is. I think once she's on a cycle of being able to regularly connect, then I think she'll get the hang of it. I am supposed to speak with her today about a customer service networking thing that we're doing at 3:30. I'm practicing that aspect, like on connecting with other professionals. But see if you can improve Cynthia's game on connecting with past guests.
yeah.
Okay.
Sure,
All
sure,
right.
sure.
Cool.
Maybe, yeah, today I will, yeah, have a sync up with Nadine Ryan and then Cynthia,
Okay.
and yeah, asking more about the friction, and then maybe I will do like everyday sync up with them as well, like
Okay.
the getting together, like maybe working together on the appear.
Okay.
So yeah,
I think that could be healthy for them because these casts I think need a lot of engagement to
yeah,
to to sort of feel on.
right,
Okay, so that's that. Just to let you know, there's a branding opportunity right now that we were speaking about this morning at the marketing guild. Digital marketing is kind of moving into marketing right now. Content, digital marketing, to marketing in general. So one of the tips we got from Andrew Shapiro, who was the creative director at Airbnb, he
yeah,
said that actually there's a pretty good chance that you can connect with previous guests, and that is really good. That is one of the best branding opportunities that you have for the moment, so that people see Bukit Vista, people hear from Bukit Vista, and it is pretty meaningful. You do kind of understand what's going on out there, and you can see things from the guest point of view. which is valuable later on for marketing. So there's that bit of advice I want to sort of share with you. The professional networking we're doing, it's not just professional networking or guest networking, it's also branding. And it helps build our brand with each connection that we were able to make and each conversation we're able to make. People, oh, they think about Bukit Vista instead of like Hyatt or Hilton or Four Seasons or Amman.
Yeah.
There's that opportunity there too. Okay, Tendi, that's pretty much it for the community sync up. For this one, it's usually pretty fast. And okay, so let me see who is the. Let's see. I think we need to pick another. What? Oh my God! Whoops. Okay, I am surprised. Apparently, we have forgotten to put the paper on the Trello, or put the Trello on the paper. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that done. And oh yeah, Tendi, do you have any thoughts? Any sort of? I guess we have some one-on-one time right now. How are you feeling? How's everything going?
Yeah, for me, yeah, I feel like uh, I'm excited to like I really want to see the big result, like what I in my project now, like in the future, like less of the noise on the WhatsApp, and then like use the one communication channel, like even if possible with the guest as well, like maybe like something like easier for in the communication channel, and then like on the check-in process as well. So it's like the staff or the owner doesn't like think like why Bukit Vista never go here to meet the guests and everything. Yeah, as long as the guests we connect with the guests, and then there's all friction is fixed by online, we can say that's everything fine, right? But if there's like something it's really, really urgent, yeah, maybe we can go there directly. But yeah, also I would like to explain more about the owner, like another extra service that they provide, it's not our responsible, like for example, we rent for the house, right? Sometimes the owner rent for the bike and everything, but sometimes our guest is crash the bike, then they need our responsible to collect the money and everything. Yeah, so I would like to, yeah, explain that and make them understand, like if there's anything in the room we can claim on the Airbnb, but for the motorbike, actually that's yours. We didn't get any commission from that, right?
No,
So
yeah,
that's not our responsible. You dealing with the guest, you have to make the contract with the guest,
that's
and
right.
then that's your dealing, right? So, but sometimes, yeah, still like the owner like said, "Hey, your guest is broke the motorbike and everything."
No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. I think we need to be clear with that, especially let's say
Yeah,
at the very beginning. We're like you said, like it's not just your guest when there's a responsibility. It's your guest that's getting essentially 85 or 80% of that, and you're getting 100% of the rental. So that is we're giving you an opportunity, and then what you do with that opportunity is up to you. And I think it's quite irresponsible for certain owners to believe that somehow we should be involved in that. So let's make that clear at the very beginning, and perhaps even maybe even set owner guidelines. Right? I know we have a contract, but people can't remember shit on contracts.
yeah,
What we might need to have is just like we print out a guideline of what we do and what we don't do, and we send it to the owner and we put it in their offices, right? So Boca Vista handles these situations. Boca Vista does not handle these situations, and make that just I think basically as clear as possible so that they understand. Yes, if you want us to handle it, make us your partner on the motorbike rentals, and we'll take care of it, right? But this idea of like it's almost like this, right? Imagine like for example, the owner sold food to the guest, and then later on, the guest complained about the food, and instead of listening to that complaint themselves, they came to ask us to deal with the guest complaint about the food. It's ridiculous. It's like, right, that's not my business, right? You created that opportunity yourself to do that. So then, I don't know what the connection is. maybe it's cultural. Maybe it's like, okay, you're supposed to be responsible for this along the whole journey. But I think we need to be as clear as
Yeah.
possible. It is friction, and it's unnecessary friction for the future. And as long as we state it up front that we don't cover that kind of things, give us 20% from all your rentals, and then we'll worry about it, right? We'll start thinking more about that. But I don't think that's even worthwhile. I think that's kind of silly. Okay, so yes, I fully support your mission, Tendi. I think that's great. I think this idea of having, let's say, that kind of
Uh,
rejection and friction. is-
yeah, actually, that's the my mission as well. Like I would like to rebuild the right culture. Like maybe before there's like a lot of like a wrong culture that SAR give or something to the owner, or make them the more expectation, like a high expectation for the service. Like we have to have check in every day, 24 hour. We go there like, yeah. So it's like I think that's maybe because we do for the first time, and then
Yes,
they need the second time, they need the
yes.
third time, then they need every time, right? Yeah,
Help
maybe.
others, help themselves.
Yeah, maybe for the next, if there's like that, we can explain in the first, like this, or we give the solution for that.
Mhm.
Then yeah, set the right culture for the future, because this is the right time to set new culture, right? Because
Absolutely.
everyone doesn't have the previous culture anymore. Like they still kind of like, okay, neutral now.
Right.
On the natural time, we can set the new culture, like using. We are mostly, I surprised, like most the owner like asking me, hey, I forgot where about the bigger, can you one on one with me? Yeah, we can do at 5. Yeah, they most interest like want to learn now. So like the gong yesterday contact me about that and everything. Yeah, so usually, yeah, I do on the every at 5 or 6. There is some owners still like have a video call with me, even in the WhatsApp, on the Google Hangout. Yeah, so still I still, yeah, contact engage with them as well.
Okay.
So
That's
like,
excellent, Tendi. I think that's really good work. That's really meaningful. That you also see that opportunity to as well. Now is a very good time to sort of create the right cultures of what we want this community to be like. And part of it, you're right, it's this dependency. I think it's just like this kind of leaning on us all the time to sort of solve their problems. And I think maybe in the past, maybe Be the Hero has created that sort of dependency. We don't have enough, or like we don't have enough heroes actually. We sort of have two heroes or three heroes, and everybody leans on these people to solve their problems, which I don't think is necessarily a good manifestation of culture. Like maybe it should be the hero, everyone, every day, right? Something that is
mm,
more of a heroic culture rather than a heroic person. And we've actually done something slightly differently, even about this COVID safe cleaning 10D. Like we said yesterday, there's a penalty, or there's a penalty for recertification. And I think that type of understanding needs to be as upfront as possible. So
yeah,
we will help you free on the first time, but if you fail, you have to pay your own way back, right? Because we've told you once, we've told you twice, third time, um, it's sort of like and the problem I see consistently in the past has been we come back, we help them, they fail again, we come back, we help them, they
yeah.
fail again. And it's just that there's no end to that, right? There's just this endless amount of
It's like the overbooking case usually like that.
yeah. So look, I think it could be that in the future too. You overbook once, warning; overbook twice, warning; overbook third time, we stop your listing,
Yeah,
right? And you pay whatever to get that restarted again, so that you really understand it from an owner level. And then I think the owner will help the staff understand it. It's the only way to control the behavior without being directly employed with the staff, right? Otherwise, we'd have to directly employ the teams ourselves.
yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah, sir.
Yeah.
I would like to ask one more question.
Yes, sir.
Actually, it's a little bit difficult maybe for my team as well to set an initiative, right? Like what initiative that I need to make like that. But what do you think usually if the new initiative is good, like you see the problem, or you have your something that you think that you make the initiative?
It's both, Tendi. I think I don't know if I went over this with HAR, but every initiative should actually begin. I know this is hard. Some people have it. I think you have it, right? Some people have it. They see where the problems are, right? So they look across the organization or they look across the process and they recognize inefficiency or they recognize this. They have a vision. They can see that this isn't right. This isn't the way that we can continuously like grow a business. We need to do something about this. And it can be two branches, Tendi. So there's one branch, and that is opportunity. Hey, why are we not going after, let's say, beachfront villas? Or hey, why are we like kind of like doing this? Or hey, shouldn't we be doing this instead? That is a vision of opportunity. The second is more of an opportunity of like tinkering. I've worked on this process 5, 6 times, and I see how I can improve it each time by adjusting things. So that's kind of like an iterative process, right? A process of finding problems, finding a solution, and then finding a new problem and finding a solution and building on that. So I think that part, for the most part, Tendi, is really absent in HAR. Just to speak frankly, it's I know why it's absent because HAR can become routine work really quickly, and it can be where you sort of for certain people they'll never see like let's say a better way of doing it. They'll never see like oh wow if I use like a text expander I can save some time, or if I use this and this and this I can create these efficiencies here. It just won't happen naturally. For that type of person, it's better if somebody else sets an initiative for them and then delegate the follow up work for them. So that, let's say, for example, let's say you have a person on your team and they can't seem to see these things on their own. They don't see problems, they don't see opportunities. What they see is just work, right? They have a stack of work in front of them and they work, they work, they work, they work. They don't really think too much about sharpening the saw, like in the aspect of, oh my God, I could get this work done in half the time if I used a better system, right? Not too much thought in that. They don't think about also the bigger question is this work really the most important thing I should be doing? Or is there other things I could be doing to more vital? I'll give you an example of that. So let's say, for example, HAR, right? HAR should actually be leading content, not content leading HAR, right? So HAR should be saying, hey, you know what? It's kind of boring asking these questions over, answering these questions over and over and over and over again. Isn't there a way that we could sort of delegate it to content? Isn't there a way that we can create a self-service model whereby, at midnight or whatever, if somebody asks, hey, where can I, or hey, what can I, or whatever, we can just leave, let's say, Instagram on, and we just tell them, hey, look, it's past normal hours, but check on our Instagram account where we have the top 10 frequently asked urgent questions that guests might have, right? And our answers to them. Then Instagram becomes your night shift, right? So that's an example of like one sort of shift. The other shifts have you guys have done too as well, like the idea of even putting on a night shift, such and such. So at a leadership level, I think you have to see it as like what's the problems with what we're doing, and what is the sort of solutions, and where's the opportunity, right?
Hmm.
So then you can maybe create the initiatives for people. So like let's say for example,
Yeah. Yeah, I have maybe example, sir.
yeah,
Yeah, for today, I was thinking about that as well. I would like to make have a new initiative, like but I would like to see what is the problem actually on the HAR currently. But the most problem on the HAR currently is the dealing for the long term, right? That's it might be take a long time, and then dealing a many chat and everything, asking about what the facility and everything. Yeah. Beside of that, I would like to try the 3C culture with the long term guest. So it's like a video meeting if you want to long term. Okay, we can do Google Hangout meeting, everything. We already have the COVID price, right? If there is asking about the COVID price, so we know the lowest price, and then We also can open the listing and asking. So when we are talking about the long term, what is their area? So it's also the response of the guest is more quick because we are face to face, right? And then
Yes,
instead of dealing like a week, we can dealing one day on
yes,
the
yeah.
video meeting.
You see it exactly, right? That's exactly what this um, ability is what you want your whole team to have eventually. You want your team to be like leaders should create more leaders, right? So you want your team to be able to identify, yes, it's taking really long to like do this. Yes, we're maybe using the wrong channel or we're using the wrong messaging. And yes, there is a better way to do it. And then how? How are we going to actually get everyone to use that? It is always a process, Tendi. I think there's always going to be a time between the idea and then the actual execution. The goal for you in this particular case is to shorten that time. How can you get between time and execution faster? Now, you have framework here. It's actually pretty helpful. You have a framework here on initiatives part. So you've thought of an initiative. You thought, what is the plan here, and how's that going to help the HAR mission? Okay, the plan is we're going to do remote super hosting, and that's going to allow us to be able to contact guests from all over the world in a meaningful way and on our own time, right? Instead of on guest time. So that's good. It will also allow you, let's say through this contact, to pre-meet your guests, right? Which is kind of cool. Instead of waiting for the guest to meet you, you can meet them at your own time by scheduling a video call or by like saying, hey, look, I'm available for a video call on these days if you need me. I won't be available necessarily on site when you come on, right? So now you've moved the work from on site to remote and whatever, right? You can even create an office hour for meeting guests now on top of meeting owners, right? So now there's a guest office hour from let's say 2 to 4, and you'll be available on video call during this times. And it could be just an exercise. You just go down the list to try to video call everyone, and you just make yourself available if anybody wants to video call you. Then, after that certain amount of time, you say, okay, I'm not available from these times onwards. And if you need anything, please check our Instagram. And then that's a very scalable process, Tendi, right? On the guest side. They can meet you during these times, which are your hours for meeting with guests. Then you have the hour for meeting with owners. And then after that is Instagram becomes your bitch, right? Instagram becomes the night shift for you. And so if you have that system, I think that's very scalable. That system can serve 10 people. That system can serve 100 people. That system can serve 1,000 people. And then you still should have a night shift person just in case if new things come up that we didn't anticipate on Instagram. But Instagram then becomes the first source of knowledge rather than the second source of knowledge. This is actually a really powerful idea that's coming together, and there's a benefit right now tending to it. So everybody who will be traveling and working and coming in, they will probably be pretty used to remote work culture. One of the fundamental ideas of remote work culture is this idea of documentation, right? Having documentation whereby anybody can help themselves to find out their own problems. The thing that we learned in HR just the other day is when you onboard new people, teach them this. Teach them to assume that the answer to their question is already been answered. So the answer to the question is already there somewhere. They just need to go and look for it. And that's why we have paper, right? That's why we have all these like orientation processes so that it's there. So we use paper for employee orientation, but we can use Instagram for guest orientation, and that would essentially facilitate that process. So you're building it. I think you're building this culture now of reaching out to guests, using video calls to sort of deliver that guest experience of creating 3C, but for the guest side too as well. And once the system is ready, then it's much more easy to implement. You don't even need to go out anymore, and you can put an intern behind the chair and answer video calls for a guest, and they could probably figure it out what to do as well. So it greatly simplifies the situation. It simplifies. Everyone can work remote too, for that matter. Everyone can just be at home. They don't need to come to an office. They don't need to drive out to like Bingen or Uluwatu, whatever. They can just have this way and most likely now, this is a time when people will feel very comfortable doing this anyway. So it'll probably work. So yeah, take that idea of extending 3C culture out to the guest side. Think about how we can create a guest journey. We will still need people as backup, but I think the system can take care of, let's say, 95% of the contact and the intimacy and the sense of hospitality that is coming in. And oh, another great thing, you can host multiple guests at the same time, right?
Yeah,
So you can have all your guests come and you can meet them all online all at the same time, and you can do crazy shit, man. You can show them how to like make a chanang. You can teach them a Balinese song. You can make it into a language
like
Skillshare.
we can make a Airbnb experience like the online class.
You got it. You got it. And they would want to come, right? It's already like kind of something that they normally has value that they would pay for. And you can host that every day, right? You can have your mom host that, right? You can have your mom like teach people how to make a chanang and how to like, demo an offering or something like that. And that would be cool. That would be something that I think guests would like to see.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So slowly, I think we can get there. But the main issue I see in HAR is to just bring everybody with us. Otherwise, some people will get left behind. Um, and it's tough. It's. I think you have a project mindset, um, and that's it. Actually, in the chapter that you have the strongest project mindset. So just let's think about ways to spread that project mindset. Okay,
sure.
I'll work with you too, Tendi, on this one. This is an HR initiative to also improve the innovation culture. So I'm teaching your team time management and maybe also project management. Um, Another thing too, and I noticed as well, Tendi, this is from an HR perspective. I noticed that the people who don't do as well in the company and the people who do well at the company, there's a difference in perspective over how they see a mistake, right? The people who do well, they think the mistake is objective, right? The mistake or the error is something to do with the process or something. It's nothing to do with it's like they know what it is, right? Like let's say they're unable to send an email. So the bad person says, I don't feel very productive, or like I'm not getting what I want out of the day or whatever. But the good person said, I noticed that when I send emails, I have to wait a long time for the download, and my trackpad's broken, and people are not getting back to me, and I'm wondering what to do next, right? That is a good description of a problem. A not so good description of the problem is I don't feel accomplished today. I'm not getting my goals done. It's self sort of facing rather than looking at the problem. It's believing that the problem is part of you rather than part of the situation. So I notice a bunch of people in HAR starting to feel that way. They're starting to feel like the problem is with them rather than with, let's say, a skill that they're missing, or rather than a technique that they're not using, or rather than a something else, right? That they're not getting. So I think that might need some coaching to diffuse, right? No, it's not you. It's growth, and growth is painful.
Yeah,
And in order to go on, you're going to need to grow some new skills. But you're smart; you can figure it out, and we're here to help you grow these new skills so that you can get and feel good about your job again. I think that's a type of reinforcement I will provide, but I also need you to sort of drive this idea on like a daily basis so that people don't get discouraged and kind of mentally break down. Okay.
okay.
Okay. All right, Tendi, keep on trucking on. Love the work you're doing, and yeah, I'll catch you later. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tendi. Okay. See ya.
See you.